At the first training day, we really lay the foundations of getting to know your team and building those teams. And today what we really want to do is we want to make these ambassadors into active, confident and experienced campaigners for the Make Poverty History movement.
Today now we're kind of going through the logistics side of it, and everyone's really, I think, getting amped and knows where they stand for the whole road trip, so it's really cool.
So the first activity that we'll have all the ambassadors doing is creating nightmare scenarios. So obviously with 150 young people aged 16 to 26, a bunch of different issues could come up. There could be bullying, there could be harassment, there could be drugs, and there could be alcohol. So what we want to do is get all the groups together and create a skit. And they're going to say what's the worst way this could happen and what's the best way that we can address it. And I think it's a really great way to infuse some humour into what could be an otherwise kind of serious situation, and is actually a serious situation, and a great start for the ambassadors to start thinking about how best we can meet their welfare on the road trip.
I'm Simon. I'm the National Community Campaign Coordinator for World Vision.
So he's going to be talking to us about the key asks of our campaign.
The fact is, a lot of wealthy countries promised to give up to 0.7% of aid, even in the early 1970s. So we've promised to give 0.5, but in fact we're giving around 0.3 or 0.33. We obviously want to increase that to 0.7%.
Why can't the NGOs, like non-profit organisations, collectively work with the profit organisations?
Every organisation has donors, and it's a little bit, I think it can be a bit tricky to do joint programs, because how do you assess how effective your work's been in delivering a particular outcome as opposed to the other organisations' work?
And the second thing he'll be helping run today is difficult questions. So these are the major criticisms that the ambassadors are likely to face on the road trip.
This question's coming from their conceptualisation of poverty as being like an abstract problem that's not directly their duty.
Our economy should not shrink, and so out of all the countries in the world, we're only the 16th in generosity, even though we're the best placed right now to be generous. I know that we spend a lot of money on defence, and I argue that international aid is its own form of defence. It can for now, as long as everybody watches what they use.
No, the planet can't take it anymore.
If we reduce poverty, then environmental sustainability is going to increase.
Who gives us the right to say that people shouldn't even live a basic fundamental human rights standard of living, but have got access to food, clean water, sanitation and education? I mean, that's just simply abhorrent that we can live in a world and allow that sort of injustice to continue to occur.
They were able to tap into their passions, they were able to tap into the key messages and focus on what they felt that the public would be able to respond to the best.
We're actually giving 0.3% of our national income to foreign aid. This doesn't sound like much at all, does it?
Yeah, I think it's going to be very hard for politicians and the community at large to avoid 1,000 super hyped up, smart and intelligent young people who are really passionate about the issue. It's one thing to ignore these issues when they're not in the paper, but you know, when there's stories and really passionate people talking about poverty and the causes and how we can actually address it, it's going to be very hard for politicians to avoid this road trip.
Someday your grandchildren might have to go to a museum to see what poverty was really like.
Can you see how easy it would be for us to give this extra 20 cents?
So please give us your name, your email address. We define ourselves not as a society but as a humanity, and that's what's truly important, that we're all in it together.